Guys, brace yourselves, because this is pretty freaking brilliant. Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Whovian, and for this video, guys, as you saw in the title sequence, well, we are talking about that epic thing that is called Robin of Sherwood. And before I begin, I should warn everyone, I forget to do this sometimes, I really do, and I should remind everyone, if you have never seen my channel before, yes, people, I am one of those notorious YouTubers who sits in front of the camera and just talks. Literally, there's no fancy title sequence. There's absolutely no pictures, no video clips, just a person, a degenerate, technologically unsound person, thinks she should have a right to have a camera, is sitting in front of the camera and talking to you as I'm doing right now. Brace yourselves. You can do it. You can literally sit through this entire video despite the fact that there's nothing cool at all, especially my face. But, come on, we're here for the same reasons. So guys, yes, we are now talking about that wonderful thing, Robin of Sherwood. Robin Hood. Okay, Robin Hood. There's a classic, timeless, wonderful story about the thief who with his merry men would rob from the rich and give to the poor. It's such a popular concept that now I think there's not one person on the planet who has not heard of this brilliant British, or well, mostly speaking English, character, if we want to be really direct, like really specific English folk hero. That is Robin Hood, aka Robin of Sherwood. Now, over the years, there has been some TV shows on Robin of Sherwood. There has been some good ones, some not so good ones. There has been films about Robin Hood. There has been. I recommend not seeing the latest ones. Yeah. Don't do it. No, seriously, I beseech you, don't freaking do it! Oh my god! Especially not the latest one. Oh god. That movie should not have been allowed to be made. I don't blame the actors. I blame everybody working on the production besides the actors, because actors can't control anything. But still, I digress. But what happened in the 80s? Well, there was something that actually I did not know existed until someone told me about it a little earlier. You see, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved many things, but I absolutely loved Robin Hood and the Legends of King Arthur. When you're a kid, those two, epic stories are just so cool. They really grab your imagination and they just yank it and pull it by the horns. And so I loved Robin Hood. And for the longest time, the only Robin Hood I had access to is the Robin Hood that was starred Kevin Costner, Morgan Freeman, Alan Rickman, Mary Mastriantonio. I get that last name wrong. Oh dear God, I really do. And either way, also Christian Slater and lots of other great actors. Alright, the plot itself was good. A lot of the actors were great. The directing was a little iffy. It really was. And Kevin Costner, I love you, Kevin, but man, do I wish you had met up with a voice coach and learned a British accent. You didn't. I don't hate you. Just wish you had done that. Not gonna lie. That being said, that was the main thing I had. And when I saw that movie, it captured my imagination. I love Robin Hood. But what I did not know is that in the 1980s, yeah, there was a TV show of it, Robin of Sherwood, and it's probably one of the best depictions of Robin Hood there has ever been or ever will be. Okay, we know the idea of Robin Hood. Now, there are different depictions of Robin Hood. Robin Hood being an elite person, Robin Hood being a peasant. Either way, at some point, he joins up with a lot of people, and they live in Sherwood Forest, outside Nottingham, in England, and they rob from the rich and give to the poor, and Robin Hood is the leader of all of these. This one, it's a little bit different, because Robin Hood, or the idea of Robin Hood, is something that is given to a certain person by a spirit in the forest. His name is called Huron the Hunter. He's a spirit in the forest. And every now and again he chooses someone to be his son and be the person who is the defender of the poor. So first we get the Robin of Locksley, but actually this changes and I'll explain that in a little while. Let's start with the principal, Robin Hood. Initially Robin Hood was played by Michael Praed or Praed. Sorry, I don't know how that last name's pronounced. Sorry if I got it totally wrong and botched it. But actually, originally the actor's name was Michael Prince. But he changed his name because there was another Michael Prince in Equity over in England, and he did not want to be mistaken for that actor. So he took on the role of Robin. And then there is also Judy Trott. You know, she played the Maid Marian. Boy, was she awesome as the Maid Marian. And there were lots of great actors in this, besides just Michael Praed doing a fantastic job as Robin. Friar Tuck, awesome actor. As I said, Maid Marian, awesome actress. The Sheriff of Nottingham, awesome performance. Guy of Gisborne, totally awesome as well. As then also the Merry Men, Will Scarlet. Of course, he is incredibly awesome. And my personal favorite is always going to be probably Little John, or John Little as we know him. Great actor as well. All of them were exceptional. This is a whole cast of people, even the guest stars. Okay, when it comes to period pieces, it's hard because you have to get actors who not only feel like that world, but make it feel like they naturally know how to live in that world. And these actors they got knew how to move and feel like they belong in that time period. So that was already wonderful. But who is the crowning genius behind all this? Richard Carpenter. Richard Carpenter was the writer who I think wrote almost every or all of the episodes in the first 2 seasons. In the 3rd season, he still wrote, but there were other writers who came in, and he maintained his position as script editor, but he was the main genius behind all of it. The scope of this man, not only was he an excellent storyteller, he was very good at having characters have through development and making you bond with them. When one of the Merry Men was away, or when you felt like maybe one of them was going to leave, you missed them when they were gone. He was very good at crafting all the characters, but also world building. He knew how to build the world, and he also knew how to build up the tale of Robin Hood, and really have from every episode to episode give you an adventure that was just so very thrilling. And also, when it comes to his storytelling, he seemed to know and thoroughly understand the world he was writing for, medieval England. He just seemed to grasp it, and it all felt so real through his writing. You know, sometimes nowadays writers, there are really great writers in the world now. There are excellent writers in the film industry, the novel industry. Any writing industry there are great writers. But sometimes their characters don't always talk like people would naturally sound. These ones do. They all talk like how people would probably have naturally talked back then when it comes to their speech. Now, talking about, you know, the language of the medieval times, I know that their lingua was different than ours, but still, you catch my drift. But also, when it comes to this, the production side, the costuming, the lighting, the directing was awesome, and the music. Okay, guys, this had one of the best for me. I loved the music in the title sequence. Am I the only one? Am I the only one? I think there are other people who do too. But you know how the Game of Thrones, what helped Game of Thrones was the music in the beginning, in the title sequence? I think the music in the title sequence to this show, Robin of Sherwood, was just, it really got you into it. And the music in all the episodes was also very enchanting as well and really set the scene. Oh, I also forgot. There's another character in this who's really adorable, Much. Now, of course, the entire show is built around Robin not only helping the poor and robbing from the rich to give to the poor, but outwitting the Sheriff of Nottingham as well as Guy of Gisborne, and every now and again King John as well as King Richard and other people who are in power. But luckily, not only does Robin Hood have his wonderful merry men, and Marian, who's a part of the merry men, but also he has an ace up his sleeve, which is a wonderful character, Nasir. He is wonderful. He's a Saracen who travels with the band. Initially, he was there to kill Robin, but he enjoyed the honor and the respect, and he esteemed Robin of Sherwood, and he joined the Merry Men. I know they're not called Merry Men in the show, but I call them Merry Men. It's a tick. It's a habit. It's a habit to call them Merry Men, even though they're not called that in the show. What can you do? It's just me? I don't know. But, okay, so the first 2 seasons follow Robin of Locksley, who's now Robin of the Hood, son of Huron, the hunter, the spirit of the forest, who endowed him with his power. But here's the thing, at the end of the 2nd season, the actor, Michael Praed, no longer wished to do the role because he wanted to take his chance on Broadway, which it did pay off. If you look at Michael's his whole career, his resume, he was a successful, is still, because he's still around, a successful actor. This man has acted and performed in many stage productions as well as films. He's had a very successful career, so it's not like he left and became nothing. Oh, he stayed something. But this left the idea of, wait a minute, we no longer have a Robin Hood. Hence the very dramatic last episode of the second season, and then it turns out we now need a new actor to be Robin Hood. This is where Richard Carpenter's idea of having Robin, or the son of Huron, be someone he chose rather being a specific man, because now the idea of Robin Hood can be passed on to somebody else, and it's passed on to a character named Robert of Huntington, who was not like Robin of Sherwood. Robin was a peasant who eventually got his merry men together. In the very first episode, we see them organize, and they all were peasants who, were fighting for the poor and fighting to survive as well. This guy, Robert, was a noble, son of a noble or earl, and he was destined for great things. But he was called by Huron to take up the role of Robin of the Hood. And it was devastating, I'm not going to lie. At the end of the second season, when losing Michael, I was devastated. He was so perfect as Robin of Sherwood. This man was everything you could dream of for Robin of Sherwood. I said, how can anybody else take on this part? And the role was given to Jason Connery. And I admit it took a little while to adjust to him, but I said, no, I'm sticking this out anyway because this is a good show. Thank God I did. First of all, they approached the idea of casting change very well. First, Jason's new take on Robin, not only was he different, but Robert's character, he was very hesitant of taking on the role of Robin of Sherwood because he believed he was not good enough and would never fill the shoes of the first Robin, and all of the characters around him, well, they also doubted that he could be Robin. This is good whenever you have a production of something, literally, and you have to replace your leading person. The best thing to do is to confront the change and acknowledge it's hard and make people have a hard time in the production accept the change, because that's what the audience is going through. You are changing a lead. Have your lead character doubt themselves, feel like that maybe they're not good enough to take on the mantle of the person that they are replacing. This is good because that means the lead character confronts everything that we as the audience were feeling. And season 3, overall, okay, all the seasons were all really good. I think with season 3, not only did it bring a change of leading actor, and Jason Connery did a great job. By the time it was done, he did a very good job really selling the role of Robin, and he was very good as well. And the Merry Men, okay, what also helped season 3 work was everybody else was still there. Maid Marian was still there. Also Little John, Friar Tuck, Nasir, Much, Will Scarlet, they were all still there. So was Guy of Gisborne, Sheriff of Nottingham. All these characters who were always in the story were still there. Also, there were a couple characters who, while they weren't a part of the Merry Men, they were in a town called Wickham, and they also helped Robin, and they were key to the entire show as well. Either way, they all stayed, and because they stayed, it helped us audience adjust to this new Robin Hood. And either way, that was really cool. What also makes this good is not only is it very good with action and fulfilling everything you want about Robin Hood, but also it combined swords and sorcery, action, adventure, and romance, as well as monotheism and polytheism, or paganism, at the same time. There is the monotheistic faith of, either you are Christian, Catholic, or Jewish. There's that. But also there's still a pagan theme running throughout, and at the end of the day, it's never decided on which is superior or inferior. All of these ideas have a place. That's very good, because it allowed a range of what could be done in the show. And Richard Carpenter, genius. I cannot express enough. This man is a genius. But mind you, this show was done in the 1980s, and it was a British television show. In America, I believe it premiered on either HBO or Showtime, one of those shows that is a lot older than I thought it was, but eventually it got played on PBS. And I believe it ran from 1984 to 1986. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that's the case, then Jason, was the Robin when I was born, and Michael was the Robin when my parents were choosing the name I was going to have before I was even born. So either way, it's kind of cool for me. But yes, with this concept of this Robin Hood, it's 1980s, so understand the cameras from this time period. It's different than the cameras now, so if you're going into this looking for that pristine camera workmanship, you're not getting it, because it's the 1980s. They had different cameras back then. But personally, I think it worked to their advantage, because the cameras feel classic, the show feels more classic. And sometimes that's a good thing, and I think it works in Robin of Sherwood's favor. And also, another thing I loved with the writing, Maid Marian. She is so well written as a female character. You know how sometimes nowadays in the TV, people are so obsessed with making strong women, they make women who either don't feel real or women who act like men? But this Marian, she's awesome. She's everything you want in a female character, but she feels real. Everything she says seems like it would naturally come out of someone who is a real human. And there are just little good moments, comedic moments, and tragic moments, but the comedic moments work well. Comedy is tricky. Comedy is really tricky. But this show does a good balance of that. And it has some cute moments here and there that really make it work. For example, when Marianne wants Robin to let her join the Merry Men and fight alongside him, he will not let her do it because he's worried about her. And she, in anger, jumps on top of him and starts hitting him. Oh, classic! And then, after the Merry Men are laughing at this, then she picks up a branch and starts swiping them with it, and they just run away, and then she just walks away. That is good writing. That feels real. That's how you know you're a good writer. When you can create such nuance with your characters, it just hits another level of brilliance. So, the person who recommended this to me, thank you so much. I did not know it existed until it got recommended to me. And because it was awesome. I had a fun time watching it so much. And you know something is really good when it's over and you hate the fact that it's done. This show did a very good job of wrapping everything up, but even when it wrapped everything up and you still feel no closure, that's when you know you love a show. Because when this was ended, first of all, the ending punched me in the gut. It really did. Because there's one character, her journey did not end the way I thought it was going to end. I was like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? What is this? What is this? But when I thought about it, I said, well, I guess this makes sense. Her story does make sense why her story ends this way. But man, it was really devastating. Like, really devastating. And you feel the weight of it, the loss of her character from this situation. That really hurt. Like, I'm still feeling the burn. I'm still feeling the burn. Oh, God, that happened. That really happened. That happened, guys. Oh, my God. And even though I know I can go back and watch it again from beginning to end, I still feel like I lost something because it's over. I mean, guys, it's really over. I watched the entire show, and I know I'm going to go back and watch it again over and over again, but it's still over. And I know when I watch it again, I'm watching it knowing this is a show that's going to end, and it's going to end in a way that breaks my heart so much. Man, I feel it. Well, I'm just happy to know that I still know how to feel things properly. So guys, this is my review on Robin of Sherwood. Have you seen Robin of Sherwood? Have you not? If you've not seen it and you like 1980s action adventure and you love Robin Hood, I'd heavily recommend Robin of Sherwood. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You were wonderful. I hope somebody watches this video so I can talk to somebody about it because I like this show so much. Thank you. You guys were awesome. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you again very soon. Tune in next week for something possibly entirely different. Bye, guys.